Yo, what is up guys? It is Weebra, and today we are going to take a look at my collection of rare manga valued at $7,000. And of course, that price is 100% serious and based off of sold listings, specifically on eBay, which is an important thing to note. Sometimes you may see a volume on Amazon trying to be sold at $300. That doesn't necessarily mean that's the value. But before we begin, I did want to preface that, this video is not intended to just show off what I have, which, I think goes without saying. Usually the manga community is very good about sharing collections and all that. But really my goal is to make this educational, to give you guys my perspective, and to kind of give you an understanding of specific out-of-print series, what to expect, how hard is it to find, whether a certain price is worth it or not, all that good stuff. Collecting rare out-of-print manga is certainly not for everyone, and I hope you guys don't come away from this video feeling like you need to spend $600 on GTO, because the truth is some of these are in trash condition, you know what I mean? Like GTO from Tokyo Pop is awful. It's unfortunate. The covers are bad, the spines are, personally, I do not like them, and the text, the way it's formatted, is just very poor. So I don't think it's wrong to read the scans at all. At the end of the day, what's important is actually just reading the manga. So don't let purists that are all about physicals kind of get to you, which there's nothing wrong with that either. I can understand that point of view, but definitely don't feel like you need to spend this crazy money. But there's also nothing wrong with spending money on a series that you love and that you gotta have in physical. There are people out there that will try to make you feel bad. They're saying, hey, why are you buying used manga? I've had a comment say this before. Why are you buying used manga? That's not supporting the industry. You're not supporting the mangaka. A lot of times you just have no choice. The manga's out of print. If there's a new edition, I'll gladly buy it. But nevertheless, I think most of you guys kind of get the idea and are level-headed. Just ignore the toxic people. There are going to be a ton of things to go over in regards to collecting out-of-print manga, but I'll kind of touch upon those things as I get to them going through each series. Before you guys get worried, these are LEDs and do not yellow manga. Well, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, we are going to start off with Shaman King. This is a series that runs around anywhere between $10 to sometimes even $20 a volume, and is kind of annoying to find, but is a great example of a series that, is not totally rare, but because it's pretty beloved and it's nostalgic, people are willing to pay a little bit more for it and is often sold and bought. Unless you really love this series, I don't think you should worry about getting this because of the omnibuses that Kodansha are currently putting out, and it is quite a bit of volumes, so it's kind of rough to collect for. I would say just save your money for something else unless you find a good deal on it. I think a good deal is anywhere between $5 to $8. So Gunslinger Girl omnibuses are for sure something that is a more expensive and hard to find series. Individually, some of the volumes can go anywhere between $40 or even $80. It's a mess, and honestly, it's so hard to find a full set. There's always one volume missing. I don't know why, but I got extremely lucky and found this out in the wild, and I got these for like $10 a piece, which is just insane. I've been looking for this for a while, and it was just like a miracle from God, but unfortunately I am missing a few volumes. And then we got the Oh My Goddess omnibuses, which only a few of them are expensive, particularly volume 4 and volume 5. They can go anywhere between $50 to $80. And I'm not sure the situation on volume 6, but these are slowly starting to get a little bit more expensive because retail stores are running out of their stock. Usually there's volume 1 and 3 in stores, but yeah, unfortunately Dark Horse has stopped this project. But it makes sense that they wouldn't keep going with this and finish it. It was supposed to be around 11 volumes or so, because I feel like me and March Reads Manga are the only people in the manga YouTube space that actually enjoy the series. For me, I grew up with it, so it's super nostalgic, and I also have the singles, which are also pretty rare. But yeah, if you find volume 4, 5, or 6 out in the wild for, even less than $20, definitely pick it up, I say. Then over here we have some random stuff. These are some extra Suzuka volumes that I have. I have the full set somewhere else in the shelf here, and we have some Hellsings, which are not particularly super rare, but they can get pricey if it's in really good condition. Zetsubou isn't rare at the moment, but it could be. And Toriko, there's only a couple volumes that are super expensive, which is volume 10 and volume 16, which I don't have. And those can be like around $60 if I remember correctly, which is is crazy, and it's kind of a common thing with a lot of series. There's always 1 or 2 volumes that just for whatever reason are super hard to find, and as a result get really expensive in the aftermarket. So here's that full set of Suzuka that I have, and this is somewhat expensive. I think a full set you can get for somewhere around $200 to $300. From what I understand, the Omnibus is the one that is a little bit harder to find and can get more expensive, although I am not sure exactly the value of it, which is going to be true for a lot of these volumes. Some of these are just like, you go on eBay and you look at sold listings and there's just no sold listings, so you really don't know the value. Then we got School Rumble, a manga that I just love. Unfortunately, Del Rey never got to finish it. And really the only hard ones to find are Volume 12 and the Final Omnibus, which the Final Omnibus can go anywhere between $60 to $100. And Volume 12 is like anywhere between $20 to $40, but the rest are like $5. Then we got the Yagyu Ninja Scrolls, which is another one of those series that is kind of not really sought after. So as a result, the prices vary greatly. It can be anywhere between $15 to like $30 or $60, but I'm really not too certain on the actual value for each individual volume. These I got for around $15 a piece, and I just got them slowly and individually. I plan to get the rest of it, same with the original series Basilisk, which you will see in a bit. And over here we have Monster. Found this recently, a couple of these singles, and from what I remember, these are valued around $20 or $30, if not more. I can't remember, but man, I never see this out in the wild. So when I saw it, I was like, what the heck? Like, I just never see these. And honestly, they're super cool. I really enjoy them, even though I think the perfect editions are superior. Again, it's one of those things. If you're a singles collector, then, you know, definitely keep an eye out for this one. Then we have Eden, It's an Endless World. I don't have it complete. The prices on these are just kind of all over the place. I paid probably around $10 to, I think, upwards to like $25 for some of these. But yeah, these prices can get crazy. It's a 6 series. This is definitely a series that is sought after because of how good it is. But yeah, I think eventually I will get the full set, but currently I'm not in a huge rush. And right here we have Vagabond singles, which I found recently in a shopping vlog, which you should go check out if you're interested in seeing it, for a pretty good deal. Honestly, they were around $10 a piece, which is not totally super cheap, but at the same time this can get a little bit expensive, especially the first couple volumes, which from what I have seen. Do I think it's worth getting the singles? You know, once again, unless you're a fan of singles, the Bizbigs are fantastic. These have amazing paper quality as well. I was very surprised to see how white the papers were, which is a big deal if you're collecting old out-of-print manga, because white paper that is high quality is going to last longer than a lot of the usual paper that you see. I actually have a video that takes an in-depth look at manga quality and the different materials and stuff, which you are free to check out. It's also extremely educational. That is extremely helpful, especially if you're getting into out-of-print manga. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to complete this. I am going to sell this off because I'm collecting it in Spanish, and I'm also going to get the Bizbig editions because they're really nice, a lot more nice than I thought initially. Then over here we have a random assortment of different stuff, all valued at different prices. So Tegami Bachi Volume 5 is kind of an interesting situation where there are many sold listings of this particular volume for $80, and I don't know why. I really don't know the situation. It's just one of those things where just one volume randomly goes out of print, and as a result, people are paying crazy prices. And I can understand it because Tegami Bachi is definitely has a cult following, and air gear is a freaking nightmare. I would say that most of the volumes are very cheap. You can probably find them for like $5, but a lot of them are like $80, $100, $130. And what's crazy is Del Rey never finished publishing this, and then Kodansha ended up publishing it, which also started going out of print. Same thing with the Omnibuses. They stopped that, and those are also out of print. So now you have volumes in 3 different editions essentially that are super expensive. It sucks because I think Air Gear is such a great manga. Oh Great is an excellent artist. Some of his recent work is the Bakemonogatari manga, which is really great if you want to get into this mangaka. Speaking of Nisio Sin, these are some light novels that are upside down because I'm an idiot. Honestly, I struggled to get a clear answer at the value. I think this is like maybe like $10, $15, but this one was, I saw some sold for like $30. And it's just one of those situations where, you know, you don't see it being sold and the prices are kind of all over the place, which always worries me because if it's not being sold often, there's a chance that it can potentially get expensive. But just because something is hard to find doesn't mean that it's expensive. That's not always the case, although usually it is the case. Battle Royale, I'm not sure the value on these. This, including the Omnibus edition, can get pretty expensive. I'm sorry, I don't remember the prices. I think they're like $20, $30. I can't remember. Let me know if it's more expensive or less expensive, but as far as I'm aware, it's pretty hard to find. Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei is, this one isn't too expensive, but it's one of those series that I think can definitely get to that point. These are the Del Rey editions, which never finished publishing, but Kodansha ended up picking it up to finish it, and those are still available. And over here we have another light novel, which is Vampire Hunter D, and these can get crazy expensive. These are the singles, and they can range anywhere from $10 to $130, which is so crazy. You know, it's an extremely beloved novel series. There's fans of fantasy that also really love this series that weren't even into like Japanese manga or Japanese light novels, but thankfully Dark Horse started printing an omnibus edition, which just got released a couple months ago, that you should definitely go pick up. This definitely deserves to be reprinted in full in that omnibus form for sure. So I definitely recommend go picking this up. But if you do find these in the wild, definitely pick it up. So Fate Stay Night is actually a series that I did not see a lot of sold listings at the time, but the ones that I did were like around $30 to $50, specifically for volume 5. But some of the volumes are still available retail, specifically on Right Stuff, and since then they have just gone down, so we're gonna see exactly how that's gonna affect the price on some of these volumes. Oldboy, I only have volume 6 that I found out in the wild as well, and these can go somewhere from $15 to $30, but from what I've been seeing, $30 seems to be around the average. Ultimate Muscle is kind of all over the place. Honestly, it's one of the craziest things that I've seen on the internet. People are just kind of like throwing prices out there and people are paying for it. It's pretty insane. They go from like $20 to like $180, like $80. It's crazy. Uzumaki, these kind of, I would say, are valued around $15 to $30. I really love these singles, man. They are beautiful. I like them a lot better than the hardcover edition. The spines are great. The paper quality is honestly trash, but the hardcover paper quality is not the best either, but it's definitely built way better. It's a hardcover and it's got colored pages, all that nice stuff. Then we got City Hunter volumes 1 through 5, which I think that's as much as they printed. And let me just say, this is amazing quality by Raijin Comics. These are over 20 years old and they are white still. The first volume was printed in the typical recyclable paper, and as you can see, it is extremely yellowed, but they are the same age. But these other volumes, I guess they just decided to bump up the quality, and you can, I don't know if you can tell on camera here, this is a little bit, but yeah, I don't know if you can see here how high quality this is for something that's over 20 years old. It's insane. But yeah, I think the most common one is volume 4. You can get that for like $20. It's definitely the most common. I actually have an extra one. Volume 1 tends to be the most expensive one. I've seen them listed for like $50, if not more. But yeah, I thankfully got this in a set for a good deal. I got it for around like $80, which for me, it was extremely good because I literally could not find volume 2, 3, or 5 anywhere. It's just like, they rarely come up. I really love City Hunter and I really love Hojo, the mangaka. So for me personally, it was a no-brainer. Then we have something that I found recently, which is the Devil May Cry manga that tend to be anywhere between, I would say the average is around 45 because it'll go from like $30. I've seen it go for $60. I believe it's only 2 volumes long. I mean, it makes sense. It would be expensive. Devil May Cry, super popular game. I'm a huge fan of Devil May Cry. Oh god, the amount of hours that I've spent on all those games. Reborn is one that I've seen kind of go up in price. Not a whole lot, but considerably. Normally you could find these for like $10 to $12, but now they're trying to go upwards to like $20 or more. I don't know if I will collect it though, because it is in Spanish and I do collect manga in Spanish as well, and it's complete as far as I'm aware in Spanish. And in English, it stopped at I think around like volume 11, I believe. I can't remember. And we got some more Del Rey out of print stuff here with Basilisk, and this, I don't know the prices for the individual volumes. These I got for like $15, but it's probably better to get a full set on this. It's only like 6 volumes and usually you can get it for like around $80, but I've seen it go for more. And here we have a out of print volume for a series that is mostly currently in print, and specifically volume 5. This goes for around $30 or so. This is just another one of those situations where there's a possibility it might get reprinted, so it's technically not out of print, but You just never know these days. Then we have some volumes of Gantz, which is probably one of the more highly sought after sets, which is really interesting because Dark Horse has a omnibus edition, and still the aftermarket on Gantz remains strong, and it's pretty expensive and wild, and really it's just, you're at the mercy of whoever is pricing the manga, because very rarely do you find good deals on the singles. I don't know what they go for. It's similar to Eden, It's an Endless World. It's just kind of like, sometimes they're $15, sometimes they're $30. It's definitely a mess. And then we have Oh My Goddess singles, which are mostly not super expensive. I found these out in the wild as well. They were like $5 a piece, which was just amazing. You can find good deals on these online. You can get anywhere from like $5 a volume if you're getting it in a set, or $10 to $15. But really the most expensive ones are volume 37, which I don't have. That runs anywhere around $70 to $100. Volume 45 is around $50, and I believe volume 43 is also really expensive. But yeah, that just surprises me. I'm sure it's other people just like me who grew up with this series and are just very nostalgic to it. This is one of those series that just kind of, you know, is very wholesome, very cute, and whenever I read it, it just makes me happy. And we are getting to the more expensive stuff here. We got Ultimo volumes 1 through 12. I think the more expensive ones are for sure 9, 10, 11, 12. Once again, prices vary, but usually they're anywhere from $100 to $80. But once again, the prices are kind of all over the place with these specific volumes, but I've seen them sold for $60 upwards to like over $100. I think there was even one that was like close to 200. I can't remember. I say for 1 through 8, I say definitely don't spend over $15. If you have to absolutely pay $15 for one of these volumes, then I guess you could, but you can definitely get these for like $10 or less, especially the first couple of volumes. There's so many in circulation. Cromartie High School, volumes 1 through 12. I've seen these sets sold for like $300. These I got particularly for $250. If you go on eBay, there's only a couple of sets that have been sold, and one of them was me. But yeah, this is a series that I really, really love. Individually, I haven't seen these sold individually a lot, but they go anywhere between $10 to $30 to $70, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, Cromartie High School, I adore this series. It's an old Yankee comedy series, and it's just hilarious. I definitely recommend watching the anime. Then we have Mushishi, which is, I guess, the holy grail. Probably the most expensive set for how little volumes it is. A full set of this runs for anywhere between $1,000 to $1,400. This specific volume is like around $300, but I thankfully got this set from another YouTuber. She gave me a great deal, and I got very, very lucky. Then over here, we have an interesting series. This doesn't have a scanlation, so the only way to really read this in English is through the physicals, which honestly sucks. It's pretty cool. I haven't finished it, but I got this for a great deal. I got this for like $50, but the last two volumes which I don't have, 8 and 9, are definitely for sure the more expensive ones. Those go for around $80 a volume, but since it's kind of like a niche series, you don't really see these listed that often, and as a result, the prices kind of vary. I don't think that these first few volumes should be too expensive, but I have seen them sold for quite a bit. Now, Ghost Hunt may be in the runs of being the most expensive set. I actually don't know how many volumes it is in total, but good lord, man, the prices on these volumes are just insane. For as many volumes that there is, like, these go for like $60, $80. It's so expensive, but it's a great series. It's a shoujo, it's a paranormal kind of thing, and probably one of the more better shoujos out there. For whatever reason, the first few chapters, I think the first couple of volumes, are just not translated. There's no scans for it, so the only way to read it is through the physicals, and thankfully I have the first couple volumes. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to ever get a chance to collect this. I mean, this is I got this for like I got these for $20 each, but the condition is really, really bad. It's like peeling and stuff, but I was just like, man, this is the best price I'm gonna ever find for these couple of volumes, and I'm gonna pick it up and probably just read the rest on scans, to be honest with you. And we got Gone, which this volume is not super rare, but it goes for around $15 online. I know the first few volumes can get a little bit rare, but to be honest with you, the way to go is definitely importing the Italian edition, which is amazing. But I found it in the wild, and I was like, well, I'll get it then. Then last but not least, we have volumes 1 through 24 of GTO. Like I mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of this edition, but man, this series is amazing. There's a reason why the prices are crazy on this. It's anywhere between $600, and as of recently, there have been like 2 or 3 sold listings for like $1,000 or more, which is pretty wild. But man, this deserves a reprint because, like I mentioned, I am not a huge fan of this. This edition is just not the best. But yeah, I am selling this because Spain recently started publishing it, and I'm gonna pick those volumes up instead. I don't have volume 25, which is for sure the more expensive one, extremely hard to find. Those go for around $100 to even more. As far as these go, the singles, I mean, you're really at the mercy of whoever is listing them, to be honest with you. You know, I haven't really watched the singles too much, so I'm not sure which ones are more common. Even though these are expensive, you could always find good deals. I think the one that's a little bit more impossible to get a good deal on is Mushishi. It's just, I never run into the wild. You never see it in the aftermarket, whether it's Facebook Market or OfferUp or whatever, at a good price. Like, people know what it's worth, and people are just not going to come off the high prices, which is unfortunate because I think it's a good series. But, you know, thankfully, it's got a great adaptation, and really, if you really want to get into the series, I say just go for the anime. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. That is my collection of rare manga. I do have some initial D volumes that Haname got for me, and those are also pretty crazy. Unfortunately, they're not here yet, so I can't share it with you guys. But other than that, you know, this is just one piece of the out-of-print manga world, and hopefully you found this information useful and it gave you a little bit better understanding for some of these series, what to expect, what not to pay for, all that good stuff. If you guys do want a separate video on my tips on how to get good deals and all that stuff, definitely let me know in the comments and I will make an in-depth video on that. But yeah, other than that, let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about these crazy prices? Do you think they're justified? Do you think prices are going to go down on these, or are they going to go up? You know what I mean? You know, let me know what's your dream set. My dream set is for sure Vampire Hunter D singles, and man, I got a long road ahead of me with that because there's a ton of those volumes. But I gotta say, the journey is so fun. Just when I found one volume of Vampire Hunter D out in the wild, it was like amazing. You know what I mean? You know, don't be afraid to get into a series, even if it takes you a long time to complete it. The journey is just, it's so fun. And you know, if the day ever comes where you don't want it, you could sell it and make your money back, if not more. As annoying as these high prices are, I gotta say, it is what it is, and it's just fun collecting nonetheless. Thankfully, a lot of the best series out there are currently in print, so don't even worry about a lot of these out of print stuff. Focus on what is currently in print, because one day those are going to be out of print. So whether you know it or not, you are probably sitting with a collection that is even more than this. So anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace.